Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Growing tired of knots, tangled up in problems, and not caring enough. Now I'm on a journey to find what's right, always telling the truth.
Everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, this is EAJ Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Eskow.
Doing bad time. Doing bad time. Got myself a problem.
Live from San Diego, it's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What in the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann.
Welcome to Sports World Radio. I'm the host, Jeff Eskow. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. A lot to get to. Sitting in for the vacationing, the vacationing Sean Mann is Frank Sprankle, but we'll get to him in just a minute. I want to get all the particulars out the way. SportsWorldRadio.com is the place to listen to the show. If you want to come and hang out in the chat room with us, we're over at Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Head on over there, get a free account over there. Type in Sports World Radio, and you can hang out with us in the chat room. We're also being simulcasted on Good and Plenty Radio, as well as Honest Answer Radio. And starting today, I believe, we're also on beerman.com. I believe that's what it is, beerman.com, phillybeerman.com, I believe it is, phillybeerman.com as well, being simulcast over there. So thank you for all the people listening to us over there as well. That's right, Sports World Radio is moving on up, kids. Moving on up. Like us over at our Facebook page over there at facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. And follow us over on our Twitter page at twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio as well. Now, for all you new people that don't know this, you want to give us a shout at the show and say hello and ask us a question? Head on over to SportsWorldRadio.com. Click the little red icon that says call now. And if you're a Skype user, Skype users only, click that little red icon and you'll be directed right to the show and you can call the show. Now, if you're a non-Skype user, give us a call at 619-663-3715. Write that number down, 619-663-3715. Give us a call on all the topics we're talking about. We'll get you on the air. Ask us a question. We'll probably laugh at you, but that's what we do here at Sports World Radio. Now, let's bring in Frank Sprankle for the vacationing Sean Mann. What's going on, Frank?
I gotta say this, Jeff. This is like a vacation for me. Obviously, I'm hoping that Sean enjoys his vacation. I know he's out and about in Iowa. Don't try to locate him. It's a big state. But
Is he in
definitely
Iowa?
hoping that Sean... Excuse me?
Is he in Iowa? That's where he went? Iowa?
I believe he said he was in Iowa. Listen, let's just hope that he's enjoying his vacation, eating a lot of corn. I don't know what else you do in Iowa besides visit the Field of Dreams site.
In all the states in the United States, he goes to Iowa?
Okay, yeah, why Iowa? I mean, come on, you got Florida, you've got...
California?
Wait, well, we're in California. Dude, why not go across the pond? Seriously, why not go to Europe? Why not go to Asia?
Iowa.
Why not try to explore this world beyond the United States of America?
I don't know. He went to Washington sometime back, too.
I've been
That's
to
okay.
Washington. I'll
I'm
say
cool with
this.
that.
Being that we
Iowa?
are citizens of this great land, it's important to visit our nation's capital, to visit all of the sites from the Capitol building to the White House, the
Iowa?
monuments. And of course, Memorial Day was just 3 days ago. I had a chance to visit Arlington National Cemetery. a very depressing sight it is. But
Iowa?
a great sight. For me,
But
for me
really,
it was.
come on, Iowa? Come on, man.
Iowa, yeah. What do you do besides eat a lot of corn? I don't know. What is there to do in Iowa?
I don't know, Frank. I have no idea. But
I gotta
Iowa,
figure
really?
out how does Iowa, the state of Iowa, market their tourism? Do they even have a tourism department?
I don't know. Maybe he is the tourism department.
Well, I guess we should figure out. Okay, where can Sean Mann go on his next vacation?
I don't know, but he comes back from vacation, he hangs out with us for 2 days, and goes on another vacation.
Dude, okay, then we got to figure out where can. Wait a minute, 2 days and he's back on vacation.
Yeah.
Where does he find the time to go on all of these
I
vacations?
don't know. Hey, the guy just got a new job and he's already on vacation.
So he gets a vacation from his job.
He gets a
us.
He gets a new job and then he goes on vacation.
Wait a minute. If he goes on all these vacations, should we maybe be specific on Sean's on where maybe Sean is working with?
Who knows?
Could he? I don't know. Could he be part of the CIA?
He could be, man. He could be. You know what? He could be out there doing a killing right now. For all we know.
Oh my goodness! I better be careful, dude.
He could be a spy for all we know.
Oh my goodness. A life is, you know what, a while back, this was about 5 years ago, I was driving and I actually heard a commercial for employment by the CIA. And I'm thinking, what is it like to be employed by the CIA? What will they want to know if you want to join that organization?
I don't know. We'll ask Sean when he comes back.
Hold on. Which pretty much makes the mob look like a Sunday school picnic.
We'll ask Sean when he comes back. We'll ask him how his hit went. You know, we'll ask him if he had a successful hit, and then we'll get some information from him.
Typically, you don't go on vacation to Iowa.
Well, maybe...
People in Iowa go on vacation from that state.
Exactly. So the only thing I can think of in Iowa is he had to do a hit.
Yeah, probably. Maybe the hit was. Wait a minute. Isn't the CIA supposed to operate outside of the United States?
Yes and no. They can operate inside the United States.
Wait, I thought they were only supposed to be involved in international operations.
The Central Intelligence Agency?
That's them.
Okay, it's not the Central International Agency. It's intelligence.
Wait, but I thought the mission statement is that they are supposed to operate outside of American soil.
Well, they operate probably. They find things that happen outside American soil. So maybe maybe he was saying he was going to Iowa. It was a bluff.
Do they have a quarantine? Wait a minute. I don't think.
Maybe he's in. Maybe he's in.
I live in the Midwest.
Maybe he's in London right now.
Typically, it's not till August and September in which the corn is ripe and good for eating.
Maybe he's in London right now. Maybe he only told us Iowa to throw us off the track.
Wait, oh my goodness! So wait, what is he doing in London? Is he mooning royalty?
Oh, maybe he's out. Maybe he's doing a hit.
I would be mooning royalty.
He's a hitman. He's the leader of a special squad. He's the leader of him. Yeah. Okay. Right. Sure. That's funny.
Hey, the Encyclopedia Man says he is part of the social bully.
Not only is he part of the social bullying, he is a social bully.
Yeah, he is, dude. I'll tell you what, being that he is a social bully, if you run into Sean, be careful. Except me, dude. I'll take Sean out myself if he starts messing with me.
Yeah, he's pretty funny, eh?
But you know what? We do love Sean here.
Yeah,
we do. We love what he brings, his updates. We love Josh and what he also brings with him getting us ready for the show. And likewise, you know what? This is such a great hour. Actually, a great 2 hours. I'm just used to being on for 1 hour. But you know what? This is just great nonstop fun. I'm on each one of us. And it's a blessing for us to be here. For me personally, it is.
Speaking of Josh is going to be on tomorrow for the full 2 hours.
Yes, good for Josh. He definitely needs to be on because Josh is a guy with a number of opinions like you and I, and Sean, and Nicholas, and the countless other people. But you know what? Definitely looking forward to Josh and his Friday night Fever.
Yeah, we're going to get Josh on Friday, the producer of Sports World Radio. We're going to get him on the air on Friday. And in the second hour of tomorrow's show, I do believe, since both of us are and it's Friday, and both of us are very big wrestling fans, and with Payback coming.
Oh, yeah, he's going to Payback on Sunday.
Yeah, he's going to Payback. We're going to be talking some wrestling on Friday's show, on Friday night.
Yeah, thank goodness I'm not in it because I don't watch the WWE anymore.
He has an extra ticket to that match. He should take you to it.
Dude, I already went to a
He should
WWE
take you
event
to
since
it.
the year began. I went to an in-house show at the Hammond Civic Center in Hammond, Indiana, just outside of Chicago.
It's a pay-per-view event. You haven't been to one in years. You know what? You should make a day of it. You go to the mall, you get the Knicks jersey, you go to the wrestling match.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
You could do the whole thing. You get the Knicks jersey, you go to the wrestling match, you watch the Payback, then you go back to Josh's place, you take the picture for me, and you put it on with the Knicks jersey on, and boom. You do the whole freaking thing.
Wait a minute. Isn't this the bet between the two of you? You should be coming out here to Chicago. You should be the one forcing Josh to put on the Nick apparel. Hey, this is your bet.
I'm still waiting for the freaking picture, man.
This is your bet.
Don't worry. I have him on for 2 hours tomorrow. You know how that's going to go, right?
Did I make the bet with Josh?
No, I did.
Then you know what? You got to come out here and hold true to the obligation.
You know how that's going to go with me and him on the phone for me and him on doing the show tomorrow for 2 hours. I'm gonna annoy the hell out of him about it tomorrow.
I'll say this: the Knicks have nice colors, at least.
Yeah, well, they've always had the same colors.
Royal blue, yeah, royal blue and orange.
They don't change their colors like some teams I know.
And that's great. Yeah, some teams. Let's try to think. What teams change their colors on a frequent basis? I'm trying to think. Obviously, you've had the Arizona Diamondbacks. They won their only World Series title in purple and white.
Yeah,
they've since changed to red and white. I'm trying to think. Who else has changed colors?
We'll get to some more teams that have changed colors right after this break. You're listening to Frank and Jeff on Sports World Radio.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Alright, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Frank Sprankle sitting in for Sean Mann today. Okay, so before we went to break, Frank, we were talking about teams that changed your color. You mentioned who?
Okay, I mentioned the Arizona Diamondbacks, but that was only one time in their organization have they changed colors. Now, I don't think about this topic often. I'll be honest with you, Jeff. I don't think about teams that change colors or uniforms, maybe uniforms, but not necessarily color contrast. Honestly, the Arizona Diamondbacks come to my mind. I guess there is one baseball team. And you take a look at Major League Baseball teams, for instance, these are teams that have brought back their original logos. I mean, you look at, for instance, the Baltimore Orioles, although I don't think the cartoon bird was an original logo, but they brought that back. That was common throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You also have the Houston Astros. They went to their orange uniforms, kind of back to their original logo. The Toronto Blue Jays, they went to their original logo. And, of course, they won 2 World Series titles with the current logo they have, their original, in 1992 and 93. The Milwaukee Brewers are one team I would like to see go back to the mid logo as well as the royal blue mustard yellow combination. I'm just trying to think of teams that have had various color schemes as well as, I guess, uniform changes as well.
San Diego Padres changed their freaking colors.
You know what? Interesting, because the Cubs, they played the Cubs last week, and this is the 30th anniversary of them beating the Cubs.
And they wore those jerseys.
Yeah, they were wearing, actually, it was a 4-game series in San Diego. The Thursday game, they wore their home jersey tops. And then the following day, actually the following 2 days, the Friday and Saturday game, they wore their road brown jerseys.
Those brown, putrid, ugly, gross, disgusting jerseys.
Well, you know, if it wasn't for the playoffs and national television, the Padres would have not changed their uniforms after 1984.
It was come on, that was a disgusting mustard color.
But those were the colors of McDonald's, and Ray Kroc founded and owned the San Diego Padres. He had died early in 1984. He modeled his team's colors after the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, I know, but those were disgusting colors. They needed to be changed.
Oh, of course they did. But you know what? Let me ask you this. You know what's amazing about sports fans nowadays? People love retro apparel. People want to wear the retro look. 20 years ago, nobody cared about retro uniforms and retro hats and retro shirts. But now people care about them for some reason. A reason I'm trying to figure out why. Maybe it's for the older people. Maybe it's because it's a reflection of their childhood. But if you look at retro apparel from a good number of teams, all of a sudden, retro is in. Retro is cool. Retro is what I want to don when it comes to my clothing.
Hey, Vazmir. I don't get it myself, although I do have a 1969 retro inaugural San Diego banner sitting in my studio.
I do have a night, speaking of of course, the Padres defeated the Cubs in '84. I do have a 1984 Ryan Sandberg home and a 1984 Ryan Sandberg road. The road, of course, they're both pullovers. The road was a royal blue pullover, and it also has the playoff patch on the, I'm trying to think what side of the sleeve. I think it's on the right side of the sleeve, but it has the vintage raccoon Cubby Bear patch, but it also has the 84 playoff patch from the NLCS.
Hey, Frank, Dr. Myth is busting your chops. He goes, Frank, you forget retro stuff like retro sports color comes into a phase once in a while.
Well, you do see teams wear the retro. I'd actually like retro uniforms. It brings you back to the memories of all that was great. For instance, you think of the 1970s Atlanta Braves retro uniforms, and they did wear those on the day that Hank Aaron, in which they commemorated the 40th anniversary of Hank Aaron hitting home run number 715. Well, guess what? You think of that uniform and you think of that memory. You think of that uniform and you think of the players from your childhood, maybe championships won. You think of great memories when you see players wear those uniforms.
See, I don't always agree with that.
That's what I see. I believe you look at those uniforms and the colors and you think back to a time in which you wanted to wear that uniform because you wanted to be part of something spectacular, a rare fraternity, and that is playing professional sports.
Yeah, I could see that maybe with basketball for me, sure.
Do you have a custom-made jersey?
No, I don't. No, I
do have one. It's a Cubs home pinstripe.
No, I don't have any I never really was a jersey collector growing up.
I love collecting team apparel just from my favorite teams. When it comes to teams that I don't root for, typically I do like to collect maybe bobbleheads and pennants and all of that. But when it comes to clothing apparel such as jerseys and shirts and hats, I like to collect it from my favorite teams. And yes, they are the Chicago sports teams.
No, I didn't collect crap like that.
Outside of the
growing
White
up.
Sox, even though I do have a few retro White Sox apparel.
I
Well,
didn't
not
collect
apparel,
crap
I
like
should
that
say
growing up.
bobbleheads and pennants.
Okay, so I want to ask you, which game did you watch last night?
Let's see. All right, I'll be honest. 90%, 10%. So why don't we divide it 90-10?
I bet you
NHL over the NBA.
Yeah, 90. So you watched. I figured you were watching the Blackhawks game last night.
I was, even though the season is down to the wire. Well, was and is down to the wire. Yes, I did watch the Blackhawks. I wanted to see, Jeff, just how they would respond returning into their own barn, having been down 3-1. And really, this was a team that came out energetic. We really have not seen this energy from the Blackhawks ever since the third period of Game 2, in which they allowed 5 goals to the Los Angeles Kings. That was embarrassing what happened in Game 2 in the United Center. And really, it seems that the air has just been lifted out of the balloon, but they were able to find their stride. They were able to come out of the gate. They were able to put the puck in the net on a power play. And I know Michael Handzus had the game winner, but to me, Patrick Kane gets the credit here. 4 assists. Patrick Kane really hasn't factored into much in this particular series against the Kings. But Patrick Kane, I got to give him his due. 4 assists, terrific night for him. Corey Crawford, though, here's a guy that's going to have to step up.
The goalie, that's his name, Crawford,
Corey
right?
Corey Crawford of the Blackhawks. He is going to have to step it up. Jonathan Quick, maybe not his best game. We have seen better from Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, of course you have. When was the last time you seen Jonathan Quick allow 5 goals, man?
No, of course, you rarely see that. But then again, if you look at Corey Crawford, he gave up his share of goals too. Corey Crawford has got to be spectacular, and that's going to be the key, Jeff. If the Blackhawks are going to force Game 7 in the United Center on Sunday night, Corey Crawford is going to be the X factor, and we're going to find out whether or not he's the X factor come tomorrow night.
Well, listen, you asked me a question when we were waiting to come on the air, what hockey team I was rooting for when I grew up.
Right, because the Rangers are in the Eastern Conference Finals. They could wrap it up tonight against the Canadians. Yeah.
I was an Islander fan growing up, but I'm looking – listen, one freaking league has to have New York, L.A. in the finals. So it's going to be the NHL is going to have the Rangers and the Kings in the finals.
Rangers and Kings.
Rangers and the Kings, yeah.
That would be an interesting final because obviously you have the 2 major markets, the 2 teams of those major markets. Didn't you say you grew up an Islanders fan, though?
Yes, sir.
You grew up in Ireland. Let me ask you, what type of memories do you have then of Nassau Coliseum? Because I just vision myself maybe living in New York. If I lived in New York, I probably would have been an Islanders fan too.
Well, I was an Islanders fan back in the day with Billy Smith as the goalie and Trottier and
you remember the 4 Stanley Cups consecutive.
Oh, yeah. I remember watching freaking game after game, overtime after overtime after overtime in those 4 years. They played a lot of overtime games in playoffs.
Oh, yes. And that's the best part of playoff hockey. In fact,
I remember watching
the New York Islanders. I would like to say it was the New York Islanders that started the playoff year concept.
Yeah. Yeah, because back then, the Islanders were dominating, and the owner of the Islanders was a moron.
You do know that the Islanders are moving to the Barclays Center after next season.
Yeah, they're moving to Brooklyn.
Yep, where the Brooklyn Nets are.
Yes. So, are they changing their name?
No, they're not. They're going to be called the New York Islanders. Why would you change their name? They got a classic name. You think they should change their name to the Brooklyn Islanders?
Why should they change? Okay, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead. Ask me any question you want.
Nets changed their name.
Yes, they changed their name, but they were not playing in New Jersey anymore.
Doesn't matter. They weren't called the New Jersey Nets. They were called the New York Nets.
Yes, they were called the New York Nets during their ABA days. But the Islanders will not be leaving New York because Brooklyn is a borough in the city of New York.
But the New York Nets were called the New York Nets even though they played in Jersey.
Wait, you're talking about the Nets, right?
Correct. The New York Nets were called the New York Nets even though they played in New Jersey.
Because that is representation of the New York metropolitan area. I agree with you there. That if you're going to be playing in New York, and I don't care if it's in any of the boroughs, I don't care if it's Manhattan, Brooklyn, you name it, then yes, you should have the name representation of New York. If you're in New Jersey, then you should hold the team name New Jersey, but they consider that part of the New York metropolitan area.
I understand that, but they changed their name from the New York Nets to the Brooklyn Nets. So therefore,
all right,
should the New York Islanders change their name from the New York Islanders to the Brooklyn Islanders?
Absolutely, positively no. They should not, because there's still the New York representation. And after all, you got to admit, when we're on the topic of uniforms, those NY uniforms are pretty classy.
The New York Islander uniforms?
The New York Islander uniforms, yes. Except remember they had the Gordon Fisherman.
I like the old New York Islander uniforms better. If you're talking retro uniforms, now those retro New York Islander uniforms back in the 80s, give me those, man.
And, of course, that represents the golden era of the New York Islanders.
Uh-huh. Give me those. And hold your thought. We're going to run to a quick break. You're listening to Frank and Jeff on Sports World Radio.
Sports World Radio.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think.
Synergistic integration.
Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Sports World here, Jeff Escow, Frank Sprankle, sitting in for Sean Mann today. And tomorrow's show, we'll have Josh Lopez, the producer of Sports World Radio, sitting in for 2 hours with us tomorrow. So get ready for that. In the second hour tomorrow, Josh and I, since we're big, huge wrestling fans, and Payback is coming up, we're going to talk some wrestling in the second half of tomorrow's show. So join us for that. Before we went to break on this show today, we were talking about some hockey, and we were talking about about the Islanders, why they shouldn't change their name. about maybe going back to their old uniforms. I really like the old Islanders uniforms. I don't like their uniforms now at all. At all, Frank.
Did you know this about NHL teams, that you can change your uniform unless you're an original 6 team? If you're an original 6 team, you have to get NHL permission, and that will not happen because the league will not give you any permission. I'm not saying this because I am a fan of this team, but the Chicago Blackhawks, I think, have the best logo in all of professional
Yeah, I do too. No, I do too.
I know what you're talking about. Now, maybe, and I'll say this, the best run organization right now in all of professional sports. And I may be being biased here. Maybe I am, but I don't think I am. Because look at the organization, or organization, as they say in Canadian custom, 10 years ago. This was arguably the worst organization in professional sports. The only great thing about the organization was they had the sweater. They had the Indian head. They had contrast, but sadly but surely, that was the only great thing about the Chicago Blackhawks. The talent sucked. The ownership, the ownership, that's where it stemmed from with Bill Wirtz and his policy of not marketing the Blackhawks and not making the right hires when it came to front offices and the front office and head coach. Bill Wirtz held this team back. Oh yeah, you know about the home television policy.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
You can ask me any question you want.
Why aren't the Chicago Blackhawks getting flack like the Washington Redskins for their logo?
I believe it has to do with the fact that if you look at the Chicago Blackhawks, they were founded by a guy named Frederick McLaughlin. The Blackhawk actually refers to his infantry in World War I. It's actually not an Indian head.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But
there
it looks
is some
like
tie there.
But it looks like an Indian head, correct?
It is an Indian head. Yes, it is an Indian head.
So why aren't they getting flack for that, like the Red Sox, like the Redskins
You know what?
are?
Honestly, I'll be honest. That's something I don't know, and quite honestly, that's something that I've been thinking about as of late, trying to make sense of it all. Why is it you have the Washington Redskins and the Cleveland Indians getting all of this flack crap, you name it, for their Indian head, for them being named after Indians?
And the Blackhawks aren't getting nothing, right?
They are getting absolutely nothing, and quite honestly, nobody should be getting anything.
Correct. I
the
agree.
Washington Redskins name, it's here to stay. What are you going to change the Washington Redskins name to? And understand this, you can change the Washington Redskins name, but what do you do about, all right, let's say you were to change the Washington Redskins name. Right. Let's just imagine that were to happen, which I don't think will. But let's imagine it were to happen.
What are you going to change it to?
No, that's not the point. I don't know what you change it to. That's something that I don't really want to think about that because I can't see it ever being changed. But let's say you go to a Redskins game at FedEx Field, or under a new team name. Does this mean you can't wear Redskins apparel? Because people are always going to have Redskins apparel.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you can't change the name.
Dude, you can't, because there's history. The Washington Redskins have won 3 Super Bowls as the Redskins.
Yeah, you can't change the name.
They've had great players. They've had championships.
Notice how
they have been documented under the Washington Redskins.
You notice how the Cleveland Indians took the Indian off their helmet and their hats?
That's so stupid.
How stupid
For the black
is that?
C?
Yeah, they put a C on there, so every time I go watch the Cleveland Indians play, I think it's the Cincinnati Reds.
Actually, it kind of looks like the Cub logo with the contrast.
I thought I was watching the Cincinnati Reds play the other night. Wait a second,
I have
it's
no
Cleveland.
idea. Look, I think the uniform of the Cleveland Indians is stupid because if you take a look at that hat, they have gone away from Chief Wahoo, and people have got, well, what's so offensive about Chief Wahoo?
Hey, I got an idea. Stop being politically correct.
Yes, absolutely. Have thick skin. You know what? That's a problem not just with sports, but with our television shows or various forms of entertainment.
With everything nowadays,
you know what?
man.
Television. All right, let me ask you this about, not to get away from the sports aspect, but what do you think about television? Would you say that television is nothing but baloney garbage?
I don't know.
It is. Television absolutely sucks.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Okay. And I said this on this show here, and I said this on Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C that I do on Saturday nights with Kenny as well.
By the way, I want to Michael Ham here saying I believe he is right. The Indians have had that logo since the 50s.
Hey, Michael.
But who cares? They need it. Who cares about they need the political correctness here. That's the issue we're trying to bring out.
Okay, as far as TV shows are concerned, there's one TV show that I did not like when Charlie Sheen left 2.5 Men. I didn't watch the show. When they brought the girl in, I wanted to see what they were going to do, and I watched the show. The kid left. They brought the girl in. They changed that show totally to an adult show. Everything on that show, they talk about sex, drugs, marijuana, drinking, every adult situation you're going to run to as single people, they talk about on that show. And I like that.
Do you know what's one of my favorite television shows is, or at least era? Not necessarily in terms of television shows, but era of television shows. Do you know when it was?
What?
I would have to say it was the 1970s into the 80s, in which you would have shows. Actually, in the early 70s, All in the Family debuted.
Right now,
that actually changed television the way we knew it.
Exactly, Dr. Mitt. 2.5 Men got better when they brought the lesbian on. They talked about lesbian situations. They brought lesbian girls on there. They were doing all that. They were talking about marijuana all the time. They were talking about drinking all the time. They were getting into all sorts of sexual situations. They totally turned it into an adult, massive adult show. It's the last year now, but on the other side, my favorite TV show right now, is a talk show with Craig Ferguson. The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson.
Right. He's after Letterman on CBS.
He wails. He kicks ass. I'm so pissed off that he's leaving. He's ending his run at the end of the year in December.
Why is that? Is it because he did not get the Late Show in David Letterman's spot?
No, he's been doing it for 10 years. He doesn't want to do it no more.
All right. Yeah, I can understand it. Doing late night television, it can get tiring.
Yeah.
It can be very demanding. So I can understand that.
And he's getting ready to host a new game show that's going to be on at night during the summer, once a week, like a TV show. So he's going to be doing that instead. But he is hysterical right now. He's my favorite late night show. I watch him religiously every single freaking night. I don't miss it.
I don't really watch much late night television. Occasionally, I will watch shows such as Letterman. I used to watch Jay Leno. Obviously, he's not doing the Tonight Show anymore. Part of it, too, is depending on who the guest is. I don't watch these shows often, but depending on the guest, I may watch it. And if I do watch it, I will watch the beginning just so I can hear the monologues.
You know what? I'm kind of the same way, Frank.
You know how I was exposed? I did watch. When I watched a lot of Jay Leno for some reason? I watched it 20 years ago when O.J. Simpson was on trial. For some reason, that's when I started watching more late-night television because I found the Jay Leno monologue about O.J. Simpson at the time pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Hey, Michael, you're going to have to join us tomorrow. We're going to talk wrestling in the second hour of tomorrow's show.
But let me say something, if I may.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, there is a pay-per-view here in town, Michael, and I know Josh is going to an Encyclopedia Josh. But let me say this. Look, I have an opinion here, and I'm not going to insult anybody. I'm not going to necessarily heavily insult anybody in terms of language. I'm not going to make any threats to anybody. But here's the thing. I have the right to my opinion. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, that's too bad.
I agree. And
here's another thing, too, of equal importance. I don't care what people think about me.
You know what? I can give a flying fig what people think about me.
Absolutely. I'm going to say what I want to say, and what you think about me, it doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah, I don't give a flying fig what people think about me.
Here's the thing. People in this country need to be thick-skinned.
Well, there's not a lot of people that are.
We live in such a whiny nation in which people are very thin-skinned, and they are. Why don't we just make this a nation of flower power and peace, love, and understanding?
It's coming to that, my friend. It's coming to that. So, you wanted to talk about the Rangers a little bit.
Well, of course, the New York Rangers, boy, I got to tell you, Jeff, what a run the Rangers have. And I know you're rooting for the Rangers, being a transparent New Yorker yourself.
Yeah, since the Islanders are out, I go to the Rangers. But I grew up an Islander fan. They were my favorite team foremost. But you got to have Lakers and you got to have a New York, L.A. final somewhere in a pro sport. So why not let it be in hockey this year? So you get
I'm
the
trying
Kings
to think.
and
Wait
the
a minute.
Rangers.
Wait a minute. We've had plenty of New York, Los Angeles championship series.
Yeah,
We've had,
but you don't have
World
one.
Series. Remember those? Remember the Yankees and
Yeah,
Dodgers?
but you don't have one. But you don't have one going on this year right now. I mean, you
The
don't have one in
last
basketball.
Yankees-Dodgers
So
World Series was 1981, won by the Dodgers.
you ain't gonna have it this year. Not the way Toronto's playing
But
right
I'm
now.
just still looking at using that as an example. You also had, and of course, Willis Reed in 1970. Who can forget that against the Los Angeles Lakers?
Yep. So why not have Kings and Rangers? That's what I'm thinking.
All right, so let's see. We've had already a Los Angeles New York World Series. We've seen plenty of those. We've seen NBA Finals featuring New York and Los Angeles. I guess we're waiting for New York and Los Angeles in terms of the Stanley Cup, but not the New Jersey Nets and the Los Angeles Kings as it was 2 years ago. Actual Los Angeles versus New York, right?
Yes.
Because to me, many people don't associate the Devils as being part of the New York market, though technically they are.
Yeah. Well, they play in that Brendan Byrne Arena or the Continental Airlines or whatever the hell it's called.
Didn't that just open up a few years back? It's state-of-the-art, modern.
Well, hey, dude, it opened up when I was living there. It was called the Brendan Byrne Arena. Okay?
And, of course, that's where the Nets play, too.
Yeah, that's where the Nets played, right. Exactly, until they moved to Brooklyn. They were called the New York Nets. Then they moved to Brooklyn and were called the Brooklyn Nets. Why? I don't know.
All right, let me ask you this. Do you think the Rangers close it out against the Canadians tonight?
Yes.
I think so. What do you think?
Yes. And on
that, I'll say yes. Go ahead.
And on that note, we're going to run to a quick break. We'll be right back listening to Jeff and Frank on Sports World Radio.
Sports World Radio.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escal, Frank Sprankle with you. We do this show each and every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. in the East, 3 p.m. in the West. And if you live in the Central?
It is 5:48 p.m. But what about the Mountain Time Zone? Let them figure it out in the Mountain Time Zone.
You're just changing it all up, ain't you, Frank?
It is 12 minutes to the top of the hour. That is 6 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. How about that?
How about that? How about them apples? All right, so let's wrap up all this hockey talk before we move on to the second hour so I can get into some good basketball talk because I got a lot to talk to about in there.
Well, I just want to say that the New York Rangers, as far as the Rangers are concerned, look, I know Martin St. Louis, what a player he is. Terrific skill player, one of the best skill players over the last decade, of course. A factor as to why 10 years ago the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup. But I got to say the big factor has been Alain Vigneault as the head coach. Finally, the Rangers have somebody that can hold that locker room together. If you look at John Tortorella, that guy completely saw everything collapse. Even though the Rangers made the playoffs last year, I get the sense that these guys did not want to play for Tortorella. And if you look at Tortorella, my goodness, he needs to settle down. And look at where Tortorella is and Vigneault is. Vigneault, of course, coaching the Vancouver Canucks, fired last season, goes to New York, coaches the Rangers. You look at Tortorella going to Vancouver, kind of swapping jobs between the two of them. Well, Tortorella's out of a job. And if you look at Vigneault, one win away from advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Which they're going to do.
And I think the coaching has been a big difference as far as the Rangers, because I think relaxed under Vigneault, unlike Tortorella.
And?
I'll be honest. I think Tortorella, with the way he handled things, not to mention, too, with his relationship with the media, I think Tortorella is a big bully. And that's the reason why the Rangers were not able to get to that next level, because of Tortorella.
I'm not a Tortorella fan anyway, so I'm happy that he's not coaching anymore.
Well, it just seems that there was always issues with Tortorella.
Yeah,
in terms of conflicts with the media, players feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that yesterday with Ron, too. A lot about that. Ron had some good points about Tortorella yesterday. If you missed that show, you can go back and listen to it either on iTunes and subscribe to our iTunes channel, or if you're have a free account in Spreaker, just head on over to Sports World Radio and find yesterday's show.
But that's the difference as to why the Rangers are where they are now. And not to mention, too, you look at Madison Square Garden. Look, I know you love basketball. We will talk basketball at the top of the hour. But wait a minute. Shouldn't it be the New York Knicks these days? The one half of the Madison Square Garden tenants making news with Phil Jackson and the questionable coaching search. But instead, it's the New York Rangers that are the toast of MSG right now.
James Dolan don't care. He's making money anyway because he's the owner of the Garden.
Yeah, and look at what the Rangers are bringing in to his beloved Madison Square Garden.
Exactly. So he don't care.
We could be seeing, and I think we will be seeing Stanley Cup Finals games at Madison Square Garden. But I think because of the coaching change, that is the difference as to why the New York Rangers are winning.
And that's coming from a guy who watches a lot of hockey.
I do watch a lot of hockey, and I got to be real about my Chicago Blackhawks.
Okay.
They got to really step it up tomorrow night.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
What are you going to watch tonight, hockey or basketball?
Well, I'll probably have more interest in the Eastern Conference Finals of the NHL than the Western Conference Finals of the NBA, because it is a clinching scenario tonight. So I probably will have more of my attention glued, but it won't be 90-10 as opposed to watching my Blackhawks last night. Though I'll tell you this. One thing about the Los Angeles Kings, I'm going to say this not to jump gears from the Eastern Conference. I do have a feeling they are going to win tomorrow. I'm hoping they don't, because if the Kings do lose, then I see the Blackhawks win Game 7. But one thing about the Kings, and we saw this last night, they were able to fight tooth and nail with the Blackhawks.
When was the last time Quick lost a Game 7?
My goodness, when was the last time Quick lost a Game 7?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, not in this series.
If it gets to Game 7, you might as well kiss it goodbye because you know Quick ain't going to lose.
Okay, so you're not going to take the home ice. You're going to take the goaltender. I think home ice. Let me ask you this: do you think home ice is something that's overrated? Because
Yes.
I think it is. I think home ice may have been a factor in the days of the original Six Barns, Old Madison Square Garden, Chicago Stadium, the Olympia.
Look at in the NBA. Home court hasn't meant a hill of beans, man, in the NBA playoffs.
I think home court should make a difference, but here's the thing about we'll talk about, look, as far as the Heat goes, I think they're going to win tomorrow because the Heat, they respond not so kindly after losing a playoff game. Look at last year. Did the Heat have back-to-back losses in the playoffs last year and to this year? No.
Well, you know something? If Stevenson doesn't stop his antics, he's just pissing LeBron off.
Oh, you know what? LeBron could care less about Lance Stevenson and his trash talk. You know what?
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
When somebody trash talked Michael Jordan in the playoffs, what happened?
Oh, Michael Jordan. You know what? Michael Jordan didn't respond. You know how Michael Jordan
happened?
Michael Jordan respond? He would pour 50, 60 points over you.
Exactly.
That's how you respond. And you know what? LeBron James has the same approach to Michael Jordan. Look, I'm not going to respond with words. If he wants to say something about me, he can say that. That's fine. But you know what? I am going to respond on the court, and that's what you're going to see come tomorrow.
What's the deal with Stevenson blowing in his ear on the court?
Oh, who cares about that? You know what? That's soft trash talk. You know what? Who's the best? Nicholas and I talked about this early in the week on Press Row Central. Who do you think is the best trash talker in sports right now?
Blowing in his ear? Seriously?
Oh, that's going to do you nothing.
Come on, dude. I thought you were a professional basketball player.
You know, I got to tell you, Michael is mentioning MJ didn't need his fuel. He was already motivated. That's true. People have asked me, because I saw the Bulls win 6 titles, what did I like about Michael Jordan the most? I like Michael Jordan, the competitor, more so than I like Michael Jordan, the athlete. Because Michael Jordan had the will to win. He didn't care how he got it done. As a matter of fact, I think Michael Jordan may have been a better athlete in the 80s than he was in the 90s. But he was a better competitor during the 90s, and as a result, that's why the Bulls won 6 titles in 8 years.
I just don't get it.
I don't get it. Look, trash talk to me is nothing. Not a big deal. People trash talk on it's Richard Sherman. That was the best trash talk we've ever heard.
It's not so much trash talking. You're sitting there, okay, blowing in LeBron James's ear like a little bitch. That's basically what that is. That's a little bitch move.
Let me ask you, does
I
LeBron
understand,
care?
huh?
Does LeBron care?
No, he doesn't give a flying fig Newton.
Absolutely.
And you want to know something?
Absolutely.
But you know what's going to happen? You're going back to Miami now. Now LeBron's going to score 60 freaking points on you, and you're going to get ousted from the playoffs. And you know who I blame? Stevenson. That's who I blame.
Oh, absolutely, of course, because you know what? Stevenson is the one that is, you know what? By trash talking, you're not bringing down LeBron James.
You're pissing him off.
LeBron James. You're telling LeBron James, look, you're fueling LeBron James. You're giving him his energy.
And you want to know something? And there's no way that he would do it. And if I was him, I would do it in a heartbeat. Frank Vogel needs to grab this son of a bitch, Lance Stevenson, get into his face, and tell him to either stop playing games and play basketball, or you're going to find your ass sitting on the bench.
Dude, it's too late. The fuel's already been ignited. It's too late. Too late.
I understand it's too late.
Too late. Too late.
You're a professional basketball player. You're not a pansy. You're not playing playground basketball. Stop acting like a moron, or you're going to be finding yourself sitting on the bench.
Dude, why not just sit him on the bench as punishment for Game 6 tomorrow?
I wouldn't start him. And you want to know something? Lance Stevenson, you ain't all that to begin with. And by you acting like this, you are a free agent next year. You're leaving yourself open to, why would I want somebody like that on my team? Right?
Well, listen, what is it? Look, you can't trash talk to LeBron because LeBron is just going to find ways to beat you. And look, he doesn't care about the words. LeBron is thick skin. LeBron doesn't care what anybody thinks.
Personally, I don't even like Lance Stevenson.
You don't like Lance Stevenson. Well, everybody knows the name Lance Stevenson now.
I don't even. Number one, he dribbles the ball too more. Number one, he actually thinks he's better than he really is.
What championships has Lance Stevenson won?
Exactly.
Where's his rings? LeBron has 2.
Because he makes double digits. He has to because the rest of the team stinks.
Well,
Lance
you know what?
Steven,
the Pacers shouldn't even
do you want to know
in
something?
the Eastern Conference Finals. They had to take 7 games to the Atlanta Hawks, who had a under 500 record. They should have swept the Atlanta Hawks.
Lance Stevenson wouldn't be a point guard on any other team but the Indiana Pacers because he's not a point guard.
Let me ask you, who was Lance Stevenson holding this team together when they were faltering down the stretch?
No.
Then where was the on-court leadership?
Paul George.
Well, Paul George,
West.
honestly, he didn't do much of a good job because they had trouble winning games.
The Indiana Pacers are falling apart, and you know who's to blame? And you know who's not stopping it and not stepping in, and you know who should?
Well, Frank Vogel?
Exactly.
Well,
he's
job
allowing
is secure
all this
because
to
they
go
made
on.
it. Look, I think his job is secure since they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. If they had been eliminated by the Hawks in the first round, I think Frank Vogel would have been out of the job.
I think Frank Vogel's gone anyway.
Oh, so you think if they lose to the Heat in this series, and I
gone.
think they will, that Frank Vogel will not be the Pacers head coach next season.
If they don't make it to the finals, he's gone.
So they don't have to win the title, but they have to make it to the finals.
Yeah, he's gone.
Well, you know what? I can see where you're coming from because isn't that getting over the hump? The Miami Heat are your hump right now.
He's going to be gone, I'm telling you. Hold on. We're going to continue this Indiana Pacer talk right after this quick commercial break. You're listening to Frank Sprankle and Jeff Esco on Sports World Radio.
Sports World Radio.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Frank Sprankle joining you here today. Frank sitting in for Sean Mann, the vacationing Sean Mann. He'll be back next week, I believe, for a couple of days, and then the son of a bitch goes on vacation again. Okay.
Wait a minute, does this mean we get to hear his interesting tales of his vacation next week?
You bet. You bet. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to say, what the hell did you do? What the hell is going on? Well, tell me. Who did you kill?
Yeah, what do you do outside of going to, I guess, the Field of Dreams site? What is there to do in Iowa?
I don't know, but I want to know who we killed.
Oh, yeah. Who did he kill?
Exactly. I want to know who he killed.
I think he killed my confidence.
And why?
I don't know.
Right? And why he's killing? That's what I want to know. That's exactly what I want to know. All right, so before we went to break, we were talking about the stinking Miami Heat and the stinking Indiana Pacers.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Well, you said the stinking Miami Heat and the stinking Indiana Pacers. This was a question that, now that you bring it up, I want to propose to you.
Okay.
What series in these NBA conference finals has intrigued you the most? Has it been the East or has it been the West with the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs?
I've enjoyed the West more. The whole kit and caboodle of the West.
Why? Because many people see it as perhaps it being maybe the most dominant conference out of the two. On top of that, you've had Serge Ibaka. I call him Serge Ibaka. I did that intentionally because we know he can block. We know about his block shot ability.
I don't know why San Antonio just doesn't go right at him and let him get hurt again.
They are getting older.
So you go right at it. Well, they got the young guy in there. They got the young guard that comes in there for Parker. Mills, he's young.
You know what? This series is definitely going 6 games.
No, it's going 7.
Oh, so you think it's going 7?
Oh, yeah, it's going to go. It's going to be.
That's what I was going to ask. You think it's going to go 7? Since we know it's going to go 6, you think it's going to go 7 in San Antonio?
It's going 7 back to San Antonio, where San Antonio wins on their home court. Yep.
Well, I think Serge Ibaka has definitely meant a lot in terms of taking some of the Spurs' momentum out of it. But then again, remember 2 years ago, you had these two teams meeting in the Western Conference Finals, and it was the same format. You had the Spurs opening up the first 2 games, and they won games 1 and 2 in San Antonio, and then they were completely out of sync afterwards. The Thunder just dominated and won the next 4, winning that series in Oklahoma City.
I don't think that's going to happen.
So you think this year it's going to be 7?
Yeah. Yeah. Back to Lance Stevenson really quick.
Oh, my goodness. The wannabe trash talker.
Yeah, and the wannabe NBA professional who thinks he's a good basketball player, but he's really not, who thinks he's a point guard, which he really isn't. Who
Can
thinks
I call
he
him
knows
the
what
wannabe NBA champion?
I can't stand him.
Wait, no, wait. If he thinks he's this great NBA player, then I guess I should call him the wannabe NBA champion. Listen, LeBron James is not a wannabe. LeBron James is. He has won at least 1 championship, not to mention 2 championships.
How funny will it be if he goes to freaking Miami next year as a free agent?
If he goes to Miami as an agent, I may be in shock.
Well, free agent next year, you know that, right?
Oh, yeah, I know he's a free agent. He's not one of the most high. Is he a high-profile free agent?
Not after what he's doing now, he's not. I wouldn't want that on my team. Would you?
Look, as far as trash talking goes, you really can't trash talk, I think. You can't trash talk the great players. You can't trash talk Michael Jordan. You can't trash talk LeBron James.
Well, no, you can trash talk them, but if you do,
but then again, there's
going
to be retaliation, and it's going to be Michael Jordan scoring 60 points. That's how Michael Jordan did it.
Exactly. And LeBron had his – let me say something. And you know me, I'm not a LeBron fan or anything, but I say it how it is. LeBron had his worst playoff game ever in his career, and they only lost by 3, right?
Oh, my goodness. They still had a chance to win it. They were in it toward the end.
Okay. Worst playoff game in his career. correct?
Yes.
Do you think that's going to happen 2 playoff games in a row?
Oh, my goodness. Do we remember 2 years ago what happened in Boston? The Boston Massacre in Game 6?
Do you not think he's going to go out there and score 40 or 50 points in tomorrow night's game?
I'm going to make a prediction. LeBron has a big double-double.
Might even have a triple-double tomorrow. Just
he
to
might
prove
have
a
a
point.
triple-double. All right,
Just to prove a point.
I'm laying money LeBron has a double-double tomorrow.
Because if you think Indiana is going in to Miami tomorrow night and winning, you're crazy.
All I can say is the Indiana Pacers are heading to the depths of hell. That is the AT&T arena. That is the American Airlines arena.
And like I said, once Indiana loses tomorrow night, Frank Vogel will get fired, and you know who's going to be the next head coach of the Indiana Pacers? Mark my words. I'm telling you now before it even happens.
Can I take a guess?
Take a guess.
All right, can I take a guess who it's going to be? Now, this is just a guess and maybe a boneheaded guess. But it ain't going to be Mark Jackson because he's now doing some work for ESPN ABC on this series since being fired by the Warriors.
So what? Who cares? It's going to be Mark Jackson. Watch.
Oh, so I am right. It is Mark Jackson.
It's going to be Mark Jackson. I'm telling you.
So do you think while he's been doing this broadcasting work that maybe there's been some inside conversation between the Pacers and Jackson?
Not the Pacers and Jackson. Larry Bird and Jackson.
Oh, well, Larry Bird, that's technically the Pacers.
And I don't think Larry Bird has even done it because that's called tampering and you can't do it yet. Got to wait till the end of this. Wait until they're officially knocked out. And it doesn't matter that Mark Jackson signed a contract with ESPN because he had a contract last time in ESPN and left to coach anyway. So it don't matter.
You know what's amazing about the NBA? And I read this on ESPN.com, and it was about how Scott Brooks' job was in jeopardy, considering that if the Thunder did not get past the first round, that he may not return as Thunder head coach. You know, it's kind of amazing and even sad that it is the players that get all the credit when things go well, but when things go bad, it's not the players, it's the head coach that takes the fall.
I know. But you want to know
I think
something?
the coaching profession is the most unfair in professional sports.
Sometimes the Oklahoma City Thunder makes Scotty Brooks look really bad.
Oh, I agree.
Makes him look really bad.
He's the fall guy. The head coach is the fall guy. Scott Brooks, Frank Vogel. These are guys that are the fall guys if their team are bad.
And when they play well,
they don't get much credit.
They don't get the credit. The players get the credit.
Come on. Do you think
wacky is that?
How much credit is Eric Spoelstra getting in Miami for 2 NBA championships?
Not a lot.
No.
Not a lot.
Because he's got LeBron James.
He's got LeBron. He's got freaking Dwayne, and he's got the other dude there, Bosh. So not a lot. Right?
Yes.
Come on. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. There's got to be a fall guy. But I've been saying this the whole playoffs, and I'm going to continue to say it, that Mark Jackson will be the next head coach of the Indiana Pacers.
All right, so you think there's some underground talking during the series while Jackson is handling broadcasting work for ESPN.
Just my
between
feeling.
him and Larry Bird. Just obviously we don't know it, we don't see it.
It's just my feeling. It's just how I feel. Yes.
Would you say the coaching profession, maybe more so in the NBA, and I guess the NFL for that matter too? Well, all sports, managers in baseball. Would you say that's maybe the most unfair position in professional sports?
Yeah, of course. How about this one? How about this one for a little, to really confuse all my listeners? Frank Vogel gets fired from Indiana. Mark Jackson goes there. Okay?
Wait, who's going to be the head coach of the Lakers? Let the Lakers have an opening. The Knicks have an opening.
Exactly. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Okay. Frank Vogel goes to Chicago because Thibodeau goes to New York.
Do you want me to respond now?
You like that?
Thibodeau goes to New York. Well, hold on. Wasn't there a report, and I don't remember who reported on this, but wasn't there a report that said that Tom Thibodeau would only leave the Chicago Bulls for one job, and that would be the New York Knicks job?
Correct. That's the report. But that ain't going to happen. You know why? And I'll tell you why.
Speak up.
Because the New York Knicks can't give anything to the Chicago Bulls in compensation for Tom Thibodeau.
Well, no, they're not going to give up Carmelo Anthony.
No, they can't give anything up because they got nothing to give.
No, they don't. And quite honestly, that would be a huge stake in the heart of the Bulls because Tom Thibodeau has meant a lot to this team. He has brought a sense of discipline. He has brought a sense of toughness. He has been a great fit for this Chicago Bulls team. And with Derrick Rose coming back next year, hopefully the third time's the charm. Hopefully we'll see just what Tom Thibodeau and Derrick Rose can do in terms of that head coach superstar relationship.
Yeah, but, that's the only way Thibodeau's leaving if he goes to New York. Otherwise, he'll still be in Chicago.
But you know what? Thibodeau would cost a lot.
Yeah, I know he would. And
I know he's not a championship coach, but look at what he has done with the Bulls. And not to mention, too, some pretty good teams that have advanced in the playoffs. Obviously not this year, but without Derrick Rose. I mean, think about it. Look at what happened last year. They defeat the Nets and they lose to the Heat.
Yeah, well, they're not the same team without Derrick Rose.
They're a playoff team without Derrick Rose. They're just not a championship contending team.
No, they're not a good team without Derrick Rose.
And you know what? I guess in the NBA and the NHL, being that you have 8 teams in each conference get in, just because you're a playoff team doesn't mean you're a good team.
And if any of you think that Derrick Rose is going to be the old Derrick Rose, you're crazy.
I don't think Derrick Rose should be the old Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose tries to do too much. Derrick Rose is let me ask you this. You talk about LeBron being a ball hog. Do you think like I am that Derrick Rose is too much of a ball hog?
Yes.
I absolutely. We can be on the same page there.
Yeah.
Because look at what it has meant for Joakim Noah. We have finally gotten to see Joakim Noah's true colors emerge. He has become a leader. We actually heard toward the end of the season MVP chants in the United Center for Joakim Noah.
You know who Derrick Rose reminds me of?
Who?
Oh, see, now I forgot. Oh, man.
It ain't Greg Odom, is it?
Yes, Greg Odom. Exactly.
Oh, all right. It's Greg Odom. Yeah, where's Greg Odom been?
It's Greg Odom because Derrick
of
Rose
the Miami
has been
Heat.
hurt.
Is he still with the Heat?
Yes, he was actually activated for this series.
Oh, come on. Remember in 2008, the big the anticipation of Greg Odom out of Ohio State?
It's the same thing with Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose just happened to play a little bit more.
I agree with Encyclopedia Man. Yes, he is inconsistent.
The same thing.
But you know what? Listen, Derrick Rose, I agree. I don't think he's going to be quite at 100%.
You might even, know what? Derrick Rose might even kiss his Hall of Fame career goodbye.
Oh, so you think that he still doesn't have the potential for a Hall of Fame career?
He might not. Well, hey, come on. How many injuries is this guy going to have to go through?
Well, he's already had 2 injuries that have required surgery.
And he's not. If you think he's going to be just as quick and the same guy, you're crazy.
Let me ask you this. Would you be surprised if Derrick Rose, by the time he turns 30 years old, and that will be in 4 years, do you think his career would you be surprised if his career comes to an end?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing.
Oh, my goodness. Then how much money of the Chicago Bulls? Do you know he's the highest paid player in Bulls history?
Wasted.
I'm giving Derrick Rose one more shot.
Wasted.
One more.
Hey, we're going to run to a quick update. You're listening to Jeff and Frank here on Sports World Radio.
Sports World Radio.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hey everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
World Radio, Jeff Prescott, Frank Sprankle with you here. We do the show each and every Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. on the West, 6 p.m. on the East. And if you live in the Central?
Let's see. It is 6:19 p.m. Beautiful spring night. This is my favorite time of year because this is the time in which you get more daylight.
More daylight.
More daylight.
More daylight. Okay, so really quick, let's round up all this NBA stuff. I'm telling you, Miami's winning tomorrow night. It's over. If you think LeBron James is going to have 2 bad playoff games in a row, then you're smoking some heavy pot.
Oh, I don't think that's. Oh, I think it's going to happen. Miami winning tomorrow. Oh, absolutely.
And LeBron James is going to have an unbelievable game, and he's going to shove it right down Stevenson's throat. You know it's coming.
Why am I not going to watch the fourth quarter? This game is going to be so lopsided.
Yeah, you know it's coming, right?
Pretty much.
I mean, come on. You can't see that? Stevenson, why don't you egg him on a little bit more, you dumbass? You know, if I'm Frank Vogel, I'm all over you about that. Knock it off. Right?
All right, so I guess we should be determining who it will be in the NBA Finals, which start a week from tonight. Let's understand this. We are 7 days away from tip-off of the NBA Finals featuring the Miami Heat and fill in the blank out of the Western Conference, OKC or SA.
Paul George can do his thing. It's not going to matter. Paul George could score 40. Big freaking deal.
Like I said, this is the Atlanta Hawks were how many games under 500, and you took them to 7?
Paul George scored 40 points. He had to, otherwise they would have lost.
How many games under 500 were the Hawks?
I know. No, I'm with you.
They should have swept them.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Quite honestly, I'm surprised that after that first-round series of just taking them to 7, that's where Frank Vogel didn't get fired.
You know what, Michael? I totally agree with you. Michael says the NBA has a dumbass marketing plan. Guys like Durant, Duncan, or any other of the Spurs should be the face of their league because they're class ambassadors. I totally agree with you. But they don't do it that way. I don't get it. But if you keep pissing LeBron off, he's going to score 40 to 50 points tomorrow night's game, and he's just going to throw it right down Stevenson's throat.
You know, not to get off topic here, but I want to allude to something that Michael also is relating to here. Well, actually, that I'm kind of relating to in terms of Michael's topic. And you'll understand this, Jeff, but here's what's special about the NBA, and this is what's partly great about the NBA. You want to talk about marketing? Well, how about marketing to that one market team? Because you look at that major professional sports team. I mean, look at how many NBA teams are it in terms of San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Sacramento, Portland, Memphis, Orlando. Help me out here if I'm missing more.
Houston.
No, Houston has more professional sports teams.
Do they really? They got one other, and that's about it.
Well, they're not. They haven't really played well lately.
No, they got one other. They don't have a football team, Houston. Do they? They got a baseball team. That's it. Basketball and baseball team. They don't got a hockey team.
Well, you talking about Houston?
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't think the Texans really play football?
I don't. Who? The Houston Texans?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think they really play football. They don't got a football team.
Then why is it they're hosting the Super Bowl in 3 years?
In 3 years, because they took them that long to get a nice building up.
You know what? I will say this: when Houston got an NFL team back, they should have retained the Houston Oilers name and colors. They really should have, because you think of history going back to the original AFL days. They should have really renamed the name. They should have kept the name Houston Oilers like they did in Cleveland after the Browns left.
What was Houston? 2-14?
What?
What was Houston? 2-14 last year?
Yeah, and they got the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, they're not a football team. They were 2-14. Come on.
They're a pathetic football team. Pathetic.
They're not a football team.
Yes, they are. Pathetic.
Portland doesn't have a baseball team, do they?
They have probably a minor league team.
Yeah, but they don't have a
They have
professional.
a minor league hockey team. I know that, because
But I don't-
if you
but-
take a look, hold on. If you take a look, they have a team called the Winterhawks. Take a look at the Portland Winterhawks logo. It is identical almost to the Chicago Blackhawk logo.
How about Oklahoma? They only have a basketball team, right?
They have one team, and that is the Thunder, though it's heavily college football. And you can definitely ask Nicholas that.
Yeah, so no, I understand that, but they only have one They only have one professional team, right? Oklahoma,
Yes.
right?
Oklahoma City. I mentioned Sacramento, San Antonio, obviously, Portland, Memphis, Orlando. I'm trying to think, is there any other one major team that's an NBA team in a market? I'm trying to think about that.
Well, why do you say Orlando?
Orlando, there's no other professional team in Orlando.
Huh?
Orlando only has one major team.
Florida Marlins are there.
That's Miami. And they're known as the Miami Marlins. Get with the times here.
Oh, God. But Florida, no, you're wrong, because Florida has more than one basketball team in that state. So
I'm not talking about state. I'm talking by city.
Oh, come on. You can't do it like that.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Okay, then should we single out the Sacramento Kings that they aren't the only team?
Yes, because you got the freaking LA Clippers and the LA Lakers, and the Golden State Warriors are freaking closer than LA to Sacramento.
But they don't play in Sacramento. Only one. You don't see a baseball team in Sacramento that's of a major league variety. You don't see an NHL team or an NFL team. When it comes to Sacramento, it's just it. It doesn't
matter. Oh, come on. It's a California team. You can't look at it like that.
Yes, I can, and I will.
Can't. No, you're wrong.
I believe I'm right.
No, I believe you're wrong.
You can believe all you want, but I believe I'm right.
You can't tell Orlando. Orlando's in Florida. Florida's got multiple sports teams.
We're talking about. So wait, you're looking at it from the standpoint of the state and not the city. You can give. You could care less about the city.
Yes.
Dude, it's about the teams that play in the city limits.
No, oh, come on.
Oh, come on, blah, blah, blah.
So what you're telling me then is, then Arizona, okay, here's great, right here. Arizona Cardinals, who play in Glendale, okay?
Phoenix Market.
They play in Glendale, Arizona. They don't play in Phoenix. They play in Glendale.
Phoenix Market, not technically Phoenix, but it's the Phoenix Market.
See, now you
Phoenix Metropolitan Area.
See, you're wrong. If you're going by city, you're wrong.
Oh, so I'm wrong. So wait, you came on this show to try to prove me wrong one time today.
No, but if you, according to your analogy, Glendale, Arizona is the city, inside of Phoenix, inside Arizona. Correct?
Okay, so I guess this brings us back to the New York teams. I guess the New Jersey Devils, you would not consider them to be part of New York, right?
Correct.
Okay, then hold on. What should we say about the New York football teams? Giants and Jets, Big Blue and Gang Green. They play in New Jersey. They play across the Hudson.
Well, they've always been called the New York Giants.
But they play in New Jersey.
They started in New York, though.
But they don't play in New York in the present.
I understand that. I call the Jets the New Jersey Jets, but I call the Giants the New York Giants.
Whoa, wait a minute. The Jets started off in New York during the AFL days. They played in the Polo Grounds.
Well,
then in the mid-'60s, Shea Stadium opens. They played there for about 20 years, and then they move across the Hudson and share the old Meadowlands Stadium with the Giants.
Giants started in New York, too. Let's not get crazy
they both started in New York. So guess what? All right. So maybe then we should focus on the Jets and Giants being the New Jersey.
So
Jets and Giants.
Okay, so Buffalo Bills are okay, right?
Well, of course. Yeah, technically, that's the only team that plays in the state of New York that is of the NFL variety.
Why? Because they're in the city of Buffalo?
They're in the state of New York.
They're in the state of New York, but they play in Buffalo. So they're called the Buffalo Bills.
All right, so you're seeing it. So, all right, let me get this correct here.
So technically, New York has 3 football teams.
Right? All right. Wait a minute. That could be a trick question. How many teams does New York have?
3.
You know what? Some people will actually say 2 because when you think of New York, they think of New York City. They don't think of New York State.
Correct. New York.
So technically, that is wait. No.
Technically,
New York only has 1 then.
Correct. Technically, New York really only has 1.
Dude, I guess there's one of 3 answers.
Well, the real answer is 1.
Right. The real answer is 1 because there's only 1 NFL stadium that's built on New York State soil.
Correct. And that's in Buffalo.
Yes.
Right. The other one's built in Jersey.
Yes, and there's an NFL stadium that hosted the Super Bowl, but it hosts the Giants and the Jets, and that's in New Jersey. So technically, there's only 1 NFL stadium in New York, and that's the state of New York, and that's Ralph Wilson, home to the Buffalo Bills, which I hope they find ways to renovate. They're talking about a new stadium in Buffalo. Ralph Wilson Stadium, so many memories. I hate to see them tear it down.
Hey, let's run to a quick update. Not an update, but a quick commercial break. You're listening to Frank and Jeff on Sports World Radio.
Sports World Radio.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think.
Synergistic integration. Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Radio, Jeff Escott, Frank Sprankle hanging out with you guys today like we do each and every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. in the East, 3 p.m. in the West. And if you live in Essential,
632.
6:32 right now. There you go. All right. So, Frank, you wanted to talk a little Johnny Football, didn't you? Or Johnny Vegas.
Whoa, Johnny Football. Should we be calling him Johnny Vegas?
He's a liar. You know that, right?
What?
He's a liar.
He's a liar?
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, if any of you saw the quarterback special with him and Gruden point blank asked him, many people are going to have concerns with all this stuff you've been doing, all this pictures and this TV and all this stuff you've been doing out there. Why would a team draft you knowing that you're doing all this extra stuff when you should be concentrating on football? And he said, well, when I get drafted, it's going to be all about the team. It's going to be all about me getting ready for the NBA, NFL. I mean, I'm going to be doing what I need to do, when I need to do it, how I need to do it, and why I need to do it. It's going to be NFL. Liar. That's all I got to say.
Let me say this about Johnny Manziel, Johnny Cleveland as Michaels. But Johnny, what are we going to think of next? Let me ask you this. What are we going to think of next in terms of Johnny Manziel? Johnny and attach this. You've had Johnny Football, Johnny A&M, Johnny Heisman, Johnny Cleveland, Johnny Vegas. What are we going to think of next when it comes to Johnny? Johnny what?
Johnny Moron.
Johnny Moron. I think it's hard to tell what's going to become of Johnny Manziel because we have not seen him suit up in an NFL game. So I'm going to give Johnny Manziel a shot here.
How about Johnny Bust?
Fine, well, that could happen.
Because that's what's going to happen.
I don't know if that's going to happen. But as far as Johnny Manziel, he said publicly, I don't care what anybody else thinks. I am going to do what I want. Well, you know what? That's fine. But here's the thing you got to understand. You have been publicized heavily. You are one of the most publicized draft picks in NFL history. So when you go to Las Vegas, and not to mention considering your past background, the Manning Passing Academy and all of that, it's not hard to think about what people care because they are going to blow it out of proportion. So if Johnny Manziel doesn't like it, then he should have stayed his butt in Cleveland and not Las Vegas. Does Johnny Manziel hate Cleveland already?
Johnny Bust.
All right, understand this about Cleveland. Let me ask you this about Johnny Manziel and Cleveland. You know about Johnny Manziel growing up in Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what his dad has done, making millions off the oil industry.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't going to Cleveland a new environment and really a new surrounding, a new country for Johnny Manziel with factories and all of that?
Perfect thing for him.
Because, dude, let me ask you this. Cleveland
rocks, dude.
Cleveland has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at the very blue. Johnny Manziel doesn't know blue collar.
Johnny Bust. Why is the Vegas thing a big deal? Because he's supposed to be in Cleveland learning how to freaking run an NFL offense.
Yes,
that's why.
There. And you know why it's a big deal? Because we have seen Johnny Manziel been down this road before. So guess what? If Johnny Manziel doesn't like it, everybody is going to pay attention to his move, what he does, what he thinks. You know what? Johnny Manziel, he's no different than, royalty in England.
Johnny Bust. That's
Johnny Bust.
That's his new name here in Sports World Radio because that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to be the next Tim Tebow.
I honestly think that, yes, Johnny Manziel, being that he is new to the NFL, I will say this. He should have been in Cleveland or somewhere outside of Las Vegas studying his playbook, trying to learn it, trying to get some help so he can be the greatest Cleveland Brown of all. Yes, even bigger. I'll tell you what, if you have a Cleveland Browns quarterback leading you to a Super Bowl, they will always remember Jim Brown, but you will become bigger than Jim Brown.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me anything you want.
Does Johnny Bust want to be the best NFL quarterback he can be? Yes, right?
All right, this is a yes or no question.
So on that statement, wouldn't you consider, if I'm Johnny Bust, I would think to myself, let me call Peyton Manning. Let me call Eli Manning. Let me call Troy Aikman. Let me call Tom Brady. Let me call some of these successful quarterbacks and get their feedback on what I should be doing. Wouldn't that be pretty smart?
He really should. You know what? As a matter of fact, who would you call? These guys have not won Heisman trophies. The thing about winning Heisman trophies
is they
these
think
guys
they know
try
it
to
all.
go to the NFL and they don't have success there.
I know. They think they know everything. For me, giving somebody the Heisman Trophy and then putting them in the NFL is the worst thing that can happen to somebody.
Oh, is it a
Because
jinx, a curse?
They think they know it all.
No, here's the thing. They think they know it all, but then again, when you get to the NFL, you realize the playbook is just as big as a phone book.
Hey, I'll give you a great example. Tim Tebow. You know what? Johnny Bust is going to be the next Tim Tebow. He's going to be out of football in the next 3 to 5 years. I guarantee it.
Yeah, the only difference is Tebow really wasn't an accurate passer.
Johnny Manziel likes to run around and do his thing, right?
And here's another thing, too. Who's bigger, Tim Tebow or Johnny Manziel? Let's look at it from the standpoint of physical size here.
Tim Tebow, right?
Tebow's bigger.
Johnny Manziel's going to get one good shot in the ribs, or he's going to get hit in the leg, break his leg. Done.
Wait a minute. Did you see you saw the finger salute when he was drafted?
That. You know what that?
That's a message. I'm going to tell you what that is. That's a message to other NFL defenses saying, here I am, come and get me. And you know what? Listen, we know about the New Orleans Saints and their bounty program. Bounties happen throughout the league. We don't know about it. But I say this, whenever Johnny Manziel is under center or out of the shotgun, there are going to be bounties on him like you wouldn't believe.
He better not do that during a game.
What? No, what do you mean during the game? It's already been done. It's been done at the college level. It's been done at his draft
Because
day.
if he does it, I know. You know what? To me, that's just showing off and saying, here, show me the money.
It's the damage has already been done.
But if he
does fix it,
if he does it during an NFL game, you don't think those NFL defensive ends are going to see that and want to go take his head off?
Oh, these NFL defensive ends already know about it.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to last at all in the NFL. I'm sorry.
And you know what? When Johnny Manziel is laying on the ground after being sacked, can you see a defensive end saying, man, pointing at hit him on the ground saying, man, don't you ever,
Hey, Frank, Michael asks in the room, also, if he is a backup like he is told, then why is he being talked about that a backup spent the weekend in Vegas? You know why? Because he doesn't know the playbook. He needs to go and learn what an NFL quarterback should be like.
When do you draft the first-round draft pick as a backup? You don't think of first-round draft picks being backups.
If I'm him, you know who I call? I call Andrew Luck and RG3.
Yeah, why not? Because they're around your age. Although I would probably call like a Peyton Manning because he has been in the league for how many years? Since 1998. He's seen it all. He's accomplished everything, including a Super Bowl.
You want to
contact Peyton Manning.
You want to be as successful as Peyton Manning? Then you call him and find out what he does.
Hey,
and
let me ask you,
it.
what do you think of all of these people in Cleveland that have probably put their houses up for second mortgages just for those Brown season tickets? Remember the Brown season tickets that blossomed the day after Manziel was drafted?
It's ridiculous, man.
Do you think these people are putting up second mortgages? I do.
You know how upset these people are going to be when he's out of football? And then still got to pay the second mortgages on their home?
But you know how expensive NFL season tickets are?
These people are crazy. They have no idea.
Where are they getting the money for these season tickets?
I don't know. And you know how pissed off they're going to be if he's not the starting quarterback?
Yeah, what if it's 2 years from now?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think this is more hard for people in Cleveland than it is for Johnny Manziel.
I said it before he got drafted. I said it after he got drafted. I'll say it before his career starts. I'll say it during his career. And I'll say it when his career ends. He will not be in the league very long. He will not be an NFL quarterback. He will be Johnny Bust, just like Tim Bust.
You know what? Like I said this last week. If you look at Cleveland sports in their history, what do you have? You have the drive, you have the fumble, you have the betrayal, you have the decision. I guess Johnny Manziel will be known potentially as the Bust.
The Bust.
It seems that everything in Cleveland is duh and then a word of negativity right next to it.
I'm calling it now.
The bust?
The bust.
So you're going to put it along the lines of the drive, the fumble, and I forgot about the shot with Michael Jordan. Actually, the shot too, the betrayal, the decision, the bust.
The bust. See you, Myth. Thanks for hanging out with us. The bust.
Yeah,
Johnny,
take it easy, Dr. Myth.
Johnny the Bust Manziel. Because that's what's going to happen, boys and girls. And 3-5 years from now, when it happens, you people say, wow, you were right. I'm going to say, you damn right I was right.
So wait a minute. Come 2018, do you see the Browns drafting a new quarterback?
Yes.
4 years from now?
Yes. They're going to have no choice.
And we don't know who that's going to be.
Nope. He's going to be better than Johnny Manziel, I'll tell you that.
Well, wait. Wouldn't this quarterback probably be in high school right now?
Yes. Yes. And if you're listening to this show, do not do what Johnny Manziel does. Do what Peyton Manning does.
Absolutely. You know what? You don't need any gimmicks. Peyton Manning doesn't have any gimmicks.
Nope. You know what his
He does commercials.
You know what his gimmick is? You know what Peyton Manning's gimmick is?
Win football games. Put points on the board.
He works hard.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? I'll look at Peyton Manning. If you look at Peyton Manning from a pie chart, why do I have a feeling it's 70% preparation, 30% gameplay?
Uh-huh.
That's what it is for Peyton Manning.
And if you look in his off-season preparation, I can guarantee you he's not doing what Manziel's doing.
Dude, don't you think Peyton Manning is watching tape of last year? Actually, he's probably watching with his coaches.
He's probably not only that, he's got new receivers on the team. He's getting to know who they are.
And you know what? Don't you think he's having sessions with all of them now?
Hey, Eli Manning just had ankle surgery, right? A couple of weeks back, correct?
Yeah, right.
He's already back throwing footballs. What does that say to you, Johnny Manziel? He's not in Vegas partying. You know what he's doing? He's at Giant Camp preparing.
See, and that's why the Colts did not draft Ryan Leaf with the number 1 draft pick. There were many people that thought that Ryan Leaf got been drafted by the Colts. Colts fans were booing Peyton Manning.
Hey, Johnny, Eli's got a broken freaking ankle. He's got a new offensive coordinator. You know what he's doing? He's learning the offense.
So you think this is the second reincarnation of Ryan Leaf?
No, but I'm not. Yeah, it could be, but I'm just.
I think Ryan Leaf. You know what was bad for Ryan Leaf? Him playing in San Diego because it was so close to Las Vegas.
I'm just giving you an example. Hey, we're gonna run to our final break. You're listening to Sports World Radio.
Sports World Radio.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us. And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too. Don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
welcome back to the final segment here of Sports World Radio. Remember, we do this show each and every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. on the East, 3 p.m. on the West. And if you live in the Central?
Let's see, 6:48?
Well, right now it is, but if we start the show at 6 p.m. Eastern, what time is it in the Central?
5 p.m.?
5 p.m. Okay.
So wait, did I pass the test?
No, you failed because you gave the time that it is now, not the time that the show starts in the Central Time.
Oh, big stinking deal. We have feelings in the wait a minute. I don't care about my feelings, but we do a lot of productive things here in the Central Time Zone, specifically dairy farming. Don't you like ice cream?
Oh, yeah, I do, but I haven't been eating a lot of it. It hasn't been hot enough yet.
A lot of farms out here in the Midwest.
Yeah, I know. It stinks.
A lot of dairy.
It smells like cows. Hey, Johnny Bust.
Oh, yes. Let's get back to Johnny Vegas.
Hey, Johnny Bust. I say you should call Eli and ask him what he's doing right now. He's got a new offensive coordinator. He doesn't know his offense either. He's learning it. That's what you should be doing.
Let me ask you this. Do you think maybe Johnny Manziel should be calling every Cleveland Browns season ticket holder and apologizing, saying, look, this is not my image. This is not what I want to be. I want to represent this organization with class and dignity and help us get to the goal of winning a Super Bowl.
He could say that all he wants, but his actions prove different. So go ahead and say that to me on the phone, and then I will say, well, according to your actions, it doesn't seem that way.
You know what? Well, look, let's understand this about Johnny Manziel. He wasn't the first quarterback taken overall.
I don't even think he's an NFL quarterback.
Blake Bortles was taken by Jacksonville.
I don't even think he's an NFL quarterback.
What does that say if Blake Bortles is taken ahead of you? And I'm not saying this to single out Blake Bortles, but if you're not the number one quarterback, if you have all this great talent and you're not chosen, what does that say? And you drop considerably.
Yeah, I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. I really don't. I really, really don't. Just my opinion. That's how I see it.
Let me ask you this. Could he be a great NFL quarterback? Just look at it from the potential. Let's take the character issues away.
No.
You don't. I think he could.
Nope. I don't think he's got a chance.
Then why do you think Cleveland drafted him? Because they must have been asleep at the light switch?
Because of the hype.
Well, what hype does Cleveland? Cleveland is, if you look at Cleveland sports, it has really been depressing.
Because they're praying to God at how it works out.
Well, they've obviously done a great job selling jerseys and season tickets.
Yeah, well, of course they're gonna make a crap load of money off of it, but he ain't gonna be worth the hill of beans. And in 3 years from now, all those fans that spent all their money on that are gonna be pissed off.
How long will it be before the Cleveland Browns actually make it to a Super Bowl?
Well, as long as they continue to think that Johnny Manziel is their guy, never.
Let me guess, you would take Tony Romo over Johnny Manziel.
Man.
Because I know you're not big on Romo's radar.
Even if you put Romo in Cleveland, they're still not a Super Bowl team.
But you don't hear anything about Tony Romo in terms of him going to Vegas and all of that.
No. You don't hear any of those quarterbacks. You didn't hear any of the
all right,
other
let me ask you
quarterbacks
this.
doing
In terms of being a player in the National Football League, not necessarily for his ability, but for his day-to-day approach, you have more respect, I assume, for Tony Romo than you would for Johnny Manziel. Okay, all right. Because you don't have these issues of, the Las Vegas pictures, the Manning Passing Academy. That's like the Oxford of all quarterback schools. That's like going to Oxford.
He's a rookie. He needs to absorb as much as he can. That means staying at the facility, watching film, getting into the playbook, talking to the coaches, being a pain in the ass.
And can I say this about what you're mentioning here? I agree with you, but you want to know why I agree with you? Because this is different than college. You're in the NFL. This is your job.
Exactly.
This is your job. This is not like college in which you devote all of your time to the football aspect of life.
And I don't care that they had a 3-day weekend and all that. It's his job now. He's brand spanking new. He should devote 24/7 to that.
Dude, he could have gone to a bar in Cleveland and bought everybody a beer. He's got the money to do that now.
Exactly right.
You know what?
Exactly
You know what?
right.
Maybe he should get accustomed to people in Cleveland.
Exactly.
Maybe he should get to know the Cleveland sports fans. Get to know these Browns fans. Maybe by knowing them, maybe that will eager his determination to helping the Browns get to glory.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Instead of being a celebrity, be a celebrity in Cleveland.
Yes, know the people in Cleveland. And like I said, let me say this, and I will say it again. I said this earlier, and I'll say it again. Everybody will remember Jim Brown. But should Johnny Manziel have such a great career, one that he leads the Browns to a Super Bowl, like what Peyton Manning did with the Colts, he will be the greatest Brown ever.
He should buy a house in Cleveland and live there.
Or at least an apartment.
Yes.
I mean, he can maybe resort to Texas during the offseason, but at least have an apartment in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can find a luxury condo in Cleveland.
I'm sure they can hook him up.
Oh, absolutely. He's got the money.
I'm sure they can hook him up. But
and you know what? After the season's over, then return to Texas. But I think he should be talking with he should be talking with some of the old-time Cleveland sports fans, especially getting to know about he's going to Memorial Stadium. Also getting a chance to know about Martin Modell leaving for Baltimore. And getting a chance to know just how depressed and fed up these Cleveland sports fans are of not having a world championship of any sort.
No, I agree. I agree with you on that point where he shouldn't have gone to Vegas. He should have done it in Cleveland.
Yeah, he could just sit down, have a drink with these guys, and just have a nice conversation like you and I.
Exactly. Exactly right. Hey,
he must hate Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. Hey, you know what? We're going to get out of here a couple of minutes early today. It's warming up in the studio. We've done this show for 2 hours. I'm getting hot. Frank wants to go and eat. I want to get the fuck out of here. I'm getting a little hungry. So we're going to end this show just a couple of minutes early today. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. Frank and I had a great time with y'all. Hope you come back tomorrow because the producer of the show is going to be joining me for 2 hours. Josh Lopez on the air. And in the second hour tomorrow, we're going to talk WWE Wrestling, and we're going to give our predictions for the upcoming pay-per-view event on Sunday, Payback. Remember, my friends, until tomorrow, for Frank Sprinkle, I'm Jeff Escow. This has been Sports World Radio. Remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable.
Amen.
Peace out, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.
Hey, boys, Stimpy. We sure had fun today, kid. So long, kids. Come on, Stimpy, say goodbye.
Where are we going?
The show's over.